Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Katrina and this is Katrina Reads. This month I'm taking part in Blackathon. It's hosted by Jesse at Bowties Books, and I am very excited to do most of the things. There's a lot. First of all, there's 3 teams. There's Team SFF, which is, I believe, science fiction and fantasy. Then there's Team Thriller and Horror. That's the one I'm going to do. And then there's Team Contemporary, Lit, and Nonfiction. There are different booktubers and book Twitterers and bookstagrammers who are leading each of the groups. Everybody can get involved. People who only blog, people who vlog, people who are on every app. They all can take part in this, and I thought that was so cool, so interesting. People can also do paintings and all these different things. Link Jesse's video, the full video, down in the description box, and they can describe the whole thing. And I will also say, after you watch that video, then go to Blackathon 1. I think it's at Blackathon 1 on Twitter. And that will start to help you to kind of calm down, because I was like, I want to do this, but oh my God, there's so much. So the first thing is the team that you pick, the listing of the books for the teams that you pick. So I'm going to talk about the team that I picked, and I'm going to tell you about the books that I picked to read. And then I'm also going to tell you there's also going to be movie nights. There's going to be a Twitter and Instagram blackout. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be super fun. It also is opening up my eyes to authors that I didn't even know. I didn't know that there was a bunch of Black authors writing horror and thrillers. I thought it was transformative that Alyssa Cole wrote When No One Is Watching. I discovered for myself Tananarive Due and read a couple of her books late last year. So to know that there's this whole group, they have a Google Doc of all of these people who are writing thrillers and horror. I'm amazed at that, and I think I want to get that Google Doc downloaded, even though I've picked my books, and continue to pick up books from that section. Now, I love thriller, mystery, and suspense, but if horror is done well, I think I can really get into it as well. The person who lets me know that was Stephen King. I grew up reading his stuff, but his stuff is really character driven, and so I know that character driven horror is what I like, not horror for horror's sake. I just read a book called The Hollow Places, and it was great. It was wonderful in that sense. Another book that I read that was a horror book that really worked well was, because it talked about other things, there were people and everything, was the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. And this recent slate of the Netflix shows where they use horror as, grief and addiction and guilt are what the ghosts are actually manifesting in Haunting of Bly Manor and The Haunting of Hill House. Haunting of Hill House being number 1. I'm loving that type of horror and that approach to horror. So the way the prompts were done for Team Thriller Horror was by the author's name, and that helped one find a book, because for the most part, if you found a book by that author or a short story or a story by that author, then you were following the prompt. The overall theme of the readathon is traveler, partially because we are in a pandemic, a global pandemic. Most of us can't travel, but also the idea, I believe, that Black people are out there, Black people are in the future, Black people are in space. That's really cool. And so I think that really works well in the sci-fi section, but it's also part of the thriller horror situation. The first prompt is Megan Giddings. A Black character moves to a new town with an old secret. I'm going to read the book description now. When Lena Johnson's beloved grandmother dies, the full extent of the family debt is revealed. The Black millennial drops out of college to support her family and take a job in the mysterious remote town of Lakewood, Michigan. So yes, that does take care of that prompt. Prompt 2 is Victor Lavelle, Supernatural or Paranormal Horror. That book, the book that I'm reading to cover that prompt, is The Ballad of Black Tom. People move to New York looking for magic, and nothing will convince them it isn't there. Charles Thomas Tester hustles to put food on the table, keep the roof over his father's head. From Harlem to Flushing Meadows to Red Hook, he knows what magic a suit can cast, the invisibility a guitar case can provide, and the curse written on his skin that can attract the eye of wealthy white folks and their cops. But when he delivers an occult tome to a reclusive sorceress in the heart of Queens, Tom opens a door to a deeper realm of magic and earns the attention of things best left sleeping. Interesting. Next prompt is Rachel Housel, taking place on vacation, sabbatical, or a decadent setting. The book I chose for this was They All Fall Down. It was supposed to be a trip of a lifetime. Delighted by a surprise invitation, Miriam Macy sails off to a luxurious private island off the coast of Mexico with 6 strangers, an ex-cop, a chef, a financial advisor, a nurse, a lawyer, a young widow. Surrounded by miles of open water in the gloriously green Sea of Cortez, Miriam is shocked to discover that she and the rest of her companions have been brought to a remote island under false pretenses, and all 7 strangers harbor a secret. I'm going to leave it there. There's more to the description, but I'm going to leave it there. I'm excited about that. I'm really actually excited about all of these books. Last but not least on the prompts is our group book, Wife of the Gods by Quay Quarty. I hope I'm saying that right. It's Kwei Quarty. Let's read the description for this. Introducing Detective Inspector Darko Dawson, dedicated family man, rebel in the office, ace in the field, and one of the most appealing sleuths come along in years. When we first meet Dawson, he has been ordered by his cantankerous boss to leave behind his loving wife and young son in Ghana's capital city to lead a murder investigation. In a shady grove outside the small town of Katanu, a young woman, a promising medical student, has been found dead under suspicious circumstances. Dawson is fluent in Katanu's indigenous language, so he's the right man for the job, but the local police are less than thrilled with an outsider's interference. For Dawson, this sleepy corner of Ghana is rife with emotional landmines and a strained relationship with his family he left behind 25 years earlier, and the painful memory of his own mother's inexplicable disappearance. So I'm going to stop there. There's more. There's a couple more paragraphs, actually. So I'm going to stop there. That's our group book. Am I going through puberty again? I don't know. The other part that makes this read along so cool to me is that it's multimedia. So there will be an IG Blackathon watch along. February 13th is the one I'm definitely going to watch, and that's The Photograph. I meant to watch this when it first came out. I love Issa Rae. I love Lakeith Stanfield. It's beautiful, chocolatey, contemporary love story, I think. I so wanted to watch it, and I don't remember what kept me from watching it. I get into moods where I don't want to watch TV. But I was ready to watch this no matter what, but I think I just was in one of those moods. February 20th is Miss Juneteenth. That's something else I definitely want to make sure I watch. And I want to do the blackout dates. There's an IG Twitter blackout date, meaning it's celebrating Black beauty, Participate by posting selfie at any time on these dates with hashtag Blackathon 2021. February 7th, February 14th, February 21st, February 27th. And so at any time on these dates. So I will be doing that. And I think I'll be using, I just started a Bookstagram. And I've seen people in the past have a Meet the Bookstagrammer or Meet the Instagrammer. And I think I'll use one of those blackout dates, you know, because I'm going to be putting a selfie on there. I'll use it as a Meet the Bookstagrammer as well. I'm going to give a shout out to one of the last things that is here on one of the last challenges that I'm looking at here. I think there's a couple of other challenges, but I'm not going to take part in these. There are IG challenges. I don't have any capacity to do this stuff. So there's a Blackathon IG challenge. They said that these were for people who couldn't or didn't want to participate the whole month. So they gave a week to vlog, blog, or like do Instagram challenges. So that is the readathon, the Blackathon. From my point of view, like I said, there is so much more. Just like the creativity, the thoughtfulness, the inclusion. I'm amazed, and I am blown away by the genius and the thoughtfulness of this readathon. And not to put any other readathon down or anything, but some of the other readathons, you know, it's just like, oh, read a book in the dark or read a book with a color on it. But this is read a book with this narrative, with this overall theme, with this inclusion, with this. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed at the intellect and I'm flabbergasted by how thought out and how excellent this readathon is. And so I'm very excited to take part in it. And again, I am group or team thriller horror. I don't know how they're racking up the winners, because I saw a little friendly going back and forth on Twitter, and maybe I need to hashtag the books I'm reading, or maybe I'll message the person who is actually Bowties Books. They're over the team, so I'll ask, how do I let you know that I've read the books? Maybe I need to just hashtag across the social medias that I read them. I'm not sure. I will figure all of that out, but I am definitely going to be reading all these books. I'm excited about them. And so let me know if you are taking part in Blackathon 2021. So if you've got to the end of this video, please leave me a red, black, and green heart in that order, instead of, we don't have a Pan-African flag emoji, so those will take the place of a Pan-African flag, just to let me know that you got to the end. Be easy on yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.